Harrisburg Stampede. Justin Coble with
I
us.
gotta change the freaking.
Oh, there it is.
Basically, they were
It's
playing
Major
Major
League.
League with a real game. Yeah.
Oh, shit, there's the Hattie.
Welcome to this 92nd episode of the Non-Other Sports Podcast. My name is Jason.
I'm David.
And you guys are in for a ride today because we have no
We're-
document.
No.
I've been getting some feedback
ourselves.
that some of you listeners really enjoy the end of the show when we start riffing. They enjoy the end of the show because the show's over. That's what it is. They enjoy the end of the
Trying to
show
be nice, that's all.
when we start riffing and start telling stories. So we're just going to riff and tell stories today. I do want to get into one at some point here, but let's get into the new stuff real quick. On our Discord, I sent David a picture of a vehicle we purchased yesterday. And this was half planned, half not planned. So earlier in the month, our mechanic Drew it's Drew Wetzel at Wetzel's Automotive in Likens. He's like, hey, I just wanted to let you know, you passed inspection, everything looks good, but your car's starting to become an oil burner. He goes, it's really common with Hyundais and with Kias. I go, shit, okay. He goes, if you notice anything, you better start making plans to either get rid of it or drop the money to repair it. Because from what I've found and what I've seen is Hyundai's not going to cover it even if you have the warranty. They're not going to cover it. They're going to fight you tooth and nail on fixing it. He's like, so more than likely you'll be paying it out of pocket. So we started kind of entertaining the idea of getting a car. Not really because we want to, because we have to, but we're like, okay, well, let's get ahead of this time. Because the last few times we've had to get a car, it's because the car's died.
Yeah, let's not have that.
Right. So we wanted to get ahead of it this time. We wanted to do our homework. We wanted to be prepared. So we'd been started to look at Subarus. And we, for us looking at Subarus is doing research, seeing what the specs and trims and safety features, because I'm big on the safety features. I'm a dad. I care about that stuff. And we watch videos on YouTube to kind of get an idea. And then we're like, let's take off Friday. Let's drive to a dealership and just look around. No plan on buying anything, but because at the end of the day, other than the little things we've been noticing, like some stuttering of the engine and stuff like that, the Tucson was drivable. So it's like we have time. The power's on our side because we don't need to trade it in right now, this moment. So we can walk away if we want to. Yeah, we didn't walk away. And actually, look,
Is that how it normally works, though?
We got a better vehicle, brand new vehicle for less than we were paying, significantly less than we were paying a month for the Tucson. So we're saving money at the end of the day, which I mean that's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm kind of screwed on my end if that happens because I'm not going to get a good trade-in on mine. Because I have that good scratch on the front from when somebody swiped me.
We had some hail damage on ours, and they still gave us $7,400.
Yeah, but that's not going to cover though the whole car either.
Yours is newer than ours, so.
Well, I just hit over. I just have over 100,000 on it right now.
Dude, we didn't even hit 100,000.
Yeah.
So this is part of what pisses me off.
I have.
We didn't hit 100,000.
I have 100,000.
So knowing that this should have been covered under the warranty, and that Hyundai is fighting other people who've had this because it is a known issue, like that really fucking pissed me off. Because one, I don't want to have to fight anyone to get this fixed, nor do I want to have to drop money out of my pocket to get it fixed. So it was just okay. Well, what are our options? So this was not an entirely 100% like, let's go do this kind of thing. It was more like, all right, we got to do this. Let's figure out what's going to work best.
Yeah, well, you know yourself, when you go to a dealership, you never just look around.
Yeah, well,
It always
we had
turns
a we
into oh, what are you getting today?
well, it's funny. We had a really good salesman, not pushy at all. Let us ask questions. He wasn't like his demeanor was not like he was trying to make a sale. He just was having a conversation with you.
That's nice,
Um,
at least.
and when we made the decision, yeah, we're gonna go with this. He's like, okay, hold on. Um, did all the paperwork, everything. We got back to his office after doing the financial stuff, and he's like, I got some T-shirts for you. I got a chamois to wipe the touchscreen with. Like, we came home with all these freebies. I'm like, what the hell's going on here?
Damn,
Um,
I may have to go look at your dealership.
W&L up in Northumberland.
Oh, fun times. Gotta love car
Yeah, yeah.
crap.
But all right, so let's get into the whole shebang here. Okay, so there's one story I think we have to, because it's the same story, and it's the story of how we started to become friends. But you have your end of the story, and I have my end of the story because I was in study hall when this happened, and you were not in study hall when this happened.
I'm trying to remember what happened, being it was so long ago.
Okay, so I was in Woodford's room for study hall. Oh, and we got to get into some of that shit too, with
What, the
Woodford
school
and
shit?
yes, because I had Jamie in tears talking about. Well, anyway, let's get into the story of how David and I became friends, how it started. I'm sitting in Mr. Woodford's room for study hall. Now, Mr. Woodford was an accounting teacher that we both had because we both took the business curriculum classes, which don't exist now, by the way.
Shocking.
Um, and I don't remember what I was doing specifically, but I remember hearing the sound of a locker being slammed into something and an ow. And I hear laughter. And then I hear, I have county chorus this week. My mom's going to kill me. And I hear,
Oh,
holy shit, you're bleeding.
is that when? Okay, yep, yeah, yeah.
And I peer my head because my desk in study hall was right by the door. So I peer my head out and I see you and Travis and another person, and Travis got like a dime size freaking
It wasn't even a
cut
dime
on his
size.
head,
It wasn't
and
even
he
a
was
dime.
bleeding.
It wasn't even a dime. It was more like a pinhole. It wasn't that big.
Uh,
Jeez.
but
Basically, if I'm trying to remember this right, which my memory does fail me a lot. I believe I jumped on his back just messing around, and apparently a top locker door was open, and we just happened to fall right into it.
is that what it was?
So I believe that's what it was. Again, I'm
Okay.
trying to
Oh,
remember right.
well, I wasn't there for that. I was in the study hall room, so I just hear the aftermath.
But it was more like a pinhole. It wasn't like a dime. It was more like a, it wasn't big. It was enough to cover it with makeup, which they did.
Ah, she's gonna kill me.
Give him a hole in the head.
Uh, that was that's how we met. And I was thinking
Go
about
fit.
that the other day. Like we probably either knew of each other or crossed paths plenty of times because you went to my grandfather for haircuts
Hmm.
growing up. So Lord knows how many times we've seen each other before we became friends and had no idea.
How many times we were bookends before he classified us as bookends?
Right. I was
Basically,
just there this week.
Jason would go in Saturday morning. I'd go in a lot of times Friday night, or I'd go in right after Jason. So
I
he
don't
always
think we've
called
ever
us his
really been there
bookends.
at the same time.
Once or twice, I come in there and you were in the chair a couple of times. Not a lot, but like once or twice, if I remember
Yeah.
right.
So, going back to the school stuff, one of the stories I had told Jamie that had her on the floor, and it's not even my story to tell, but I told her about you and Lemon going out of your way to piss off Woodford to the point where he popped a stress ball. Like that was, if I seem to remember, that was your goal.
I'm trying to remember what we even did. I all I know, I think we were just doing like small stupid shit, and just one thing led to another, and next thing you know, it's like, oh shit, he just popped it. I forget what we even did though, but and the thing is though, it wasn't anything that was overly large that we were doing, I believe. It was more like the small little, like the the
Like you were needling him.
yes, like almost like you're just tapping on somebody's forehead, but lightly, and it just got to a point to where it's just like, and it just
And
popped.
I have to explain this. Now I liked Mr. Woodford. He was a
Oh,
good
Woodford
dude.
was great.
Every time I've seen him like as an adult outside of school, like going to a school function for Gianna and he's like helping out doing security. Always talks to me, always jokes around, just a really good dude. But when he started teaching at our school, he was like a fucking time bomb, like just stressed out all the time. Like, and look, I love David, and I golfed with Lemon, his friend. So I know that these two can needle the fuck out of people. So I can only imagine like what the fuck you were doing to this guy
I wish
to get him to the point where he squeezed the stress ball until it popped.
I wish I remember what we did. Holy, I wish I remember everything we did on that one. Oh my God. Nothing would beat library though. We're sitting up there and trying to throw pencils into the ceiling, trying to see which one sticks.
No, with Huddlebug.
Yep.
I got a Huddleston story.
Well, when you close the drawer and you hear a pink, oh, the bottle just dropped. That's basically what it
I,
sounded like. Whether it was
do
or not, who
you
knows?
do you remember Miss Clancy at all? She was a humanities teacher, and she was young. I'd say if I was 15, she was 23 when she started teaching.
Good question. Trying to.
If you don't,
Anywho,
that's no big deal. So anyway, I'm leaving humanities class, and my next period is study hall in the library with Huddleston. And Miss Clancy walks by. Keep in mind, I'm 15, so she's fresh out of college. She's 23 at this moment in time. and, and I'm walking in, and I hear, and Huddleston just turns his head and watches her walk away, and he goes, "Ah, that's good stuff right there."
why does it not shock me? Why does it not shock me with him?
Now, you know someone you graduated grabbed her ass. You did
You
not know
tell?
this.
No.
Okay. So it was after the first night of the 2001 musical. And I was in the musical. A bunch of us guys who played sports were in the musical to be realistic, quote unquote, realistic looking baseball players. I did look like John Kruk, so I mean, it was realistic. Um, but it was post play, and we had like a post show party in the cafeteria, and it went pretty late. Like I think we all went home around like midnight. Um, I forget what we were doing. We were playing some game, and for the sake of this guy's reputation, I'm going to use his nickname. Um, whatever the game we were playing, they were racing for a chair, and Tweezer grabbed her, like literally grabbed her ass so that he could get the chair before she could. And all you hear is her. She lost her shit. Like she went off on him hard.
What do you expect?
And he was my ride home. And I'm like, okay, how did it feel? He goes, it felt fine.
Why does that not shock me?
Oh my God.
Hell, had I think you taught history. Lisowski.
Laskowski. So
Yeah, I think he was
he
history,
was,
and he's also actually I think I had him for study hall at one point. But what was nice, what was funny with him though, is if you kept your locker open, he'd drop kick it, or he'd drag Christmas trees through the hallway, or go up to Huddleston's room, or go up to the library, grab the vinyl record player just to play across the first floor. Yeah, you didn't know that part?
well, see, so here's the thing. Laskowski, I think, stopped teaching right before I'd have had him. So I never actually,
Uh,
like, the year I should have had him is the year Shui took over his room.
gotcha. Well, the funny part is with that is I remember, I forget what class it was. I just remember hearing, what the hell is that? And I looked down. He's just staying out there with a record player, just do 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 do. He had a sign in his room, which I would love to have for my office. People bring joy by coming, others by leaving. I wanted that. And I want that for my office. That'd be great.
I've definitely had more joy coming than leaving.
Of course you have.
Don't set me up, man.
Let's see. He'd also raise garter snakes in his room, which freaked the hell out of people.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, he had garter snakes in there, and I mean they were in an aquarium, but yeah, I think they're garters.
Hmm. Yeah, I didn't know that.
I'm not sure if it's the room, but I heard that didn't you said Shui took over his room?
Yes.
That'll bring back memories.
Yeah, because Shui was taught in that room by him.
Exactly.
You know, Seth has action figures that were mine in his room.
That doesn't shock me.
He has two Hulk Hogan. There are three Hulk Hogans in that room.
By the way, Shui came up in a conversation at work the other day.
He came up in a conversation at work.
Yes, and yes, I know I know it's like kind of like, wait a minute, how the hell did that happen? Nobody at your office knows
Yeah,
who the hell he is.
I'm
Well, here's
listening to
why.
this.
Well, we're talking baseball, talking
Oh,
Phillies.
Jesus.
You know
Yeah.
where I'm going with this now.
I know exactly where this is going. It gets posted at least once a year on his Facebook timeline.
It has to. So, Shui was at a baseball game with our good buddy. We use his nickname, Beep.
I love Beep. Every time I see Beep, we have a good conversation.
And next thing I know, I mean, I'm watching the game on TV. Next thing you know, there's Shui getting hit in the head with a baseball. And I'm messaging Jason's. I mean, I'm blowing up his phone. Did you watch TV? Are you watching the game? And then
he was right at the third baseline.
Wasn't he the soccer coach at the time too?
He is still the soccer coach.
Yeah, I didn't know if like at that time if he was.
Oh no, yeah.
I know
he's
he
been
is.
the
I know at
soccer
that
coach
time.
since 2004. We can get into that shit too. Then I'm good with that.
And didn't you say to always keep your eye on the ball?
Yeah, I messaged him. I waited like a day. I wasn't gonna blow him up, like everyone else was. I waited a day. I said, that was a hell of a header you had. And I just got a middle finger response back.
Oh man, all I know is I remember texting your phone ballistically. I was just blowing up your phone.
So Shui was when I played, he was the assistant coach. And he's someone I've known most of my life. Like since I was a kid, I've known him. All right, I'll tell this story. So his first year teaching is my junior year of high school. And I think I had him like third period, right? And if you know this guy, you know that 90% of the time he's in like mesh shorts and a hoodie, or mesh shorts and an Eagles jersey, or mesh shorts and a Phillies jersey. Like he lives in athletic clothes. So I walk in and he's in like teacher's clothing. He's like in a button-up shirt with a tie and slacks on. And I'm laughing so hard at him that I've fallen over on the floor to the point where for the whole first week of the school year in that class, I'm in the back of the room with a dunce cap on. Did I feel any shame in wearing it? Hell no. Because the sight of him dressed up like a teacher had me just, I was dead, as the kids would say. I was dead.
Well, every time I've seen Seth, other than your wedding, he was always in athletic clothing.
Yep.
Your wedding was the only time I didn't. And
Yeah.
even then we were drinking, walking up to the preacher with rum breath.
Is that what was in the flask? Was rum? I thought it was whiskey.
No, it was rum. Justin had the whiskey. Justin had a bottle of Jack. I had the rum.
So I had Chewy in my wedding, kind of as a way to thank him because he was a big mentor to me in high school. He played a really important role in my growth as a person at that age, especially like as an assistant coach in soccer. I think I was a bit of a project for him, and I learned a lot about myself with his mentorship. So I wanted to repay him that and have him in the wedding. So that's why he was in the wedding. That's one of those things where looking back, it's like, man, there's some people I wouldn't mind of, like, oh, maybe not have you in here and have someone else in that role, because there's someone who was in my wedding who I haven't been friends with in over 15 years now, and I could have had someone else in the wedding.
Well, all I know is Jamie wanted to kill us.
I still think it's absolute one. Wow, we're going everywhere. There's no timeline today, folks. We're just bouncing from topic.
We're going.
Okay.
We're just going.
So we are en route to the wedding.
Okay, we're going to start at that point? Okay.
And the local roller derby team was having a bikini car wash. And David's like, we have time, we can stop. I'm like, no, let's just get to the venue.
I was like, are you sure? We have time. No, go.
It's literally the first thing I think about every time I drive by that stretch of road is the roller derby bikini car wash on my wedding day, which was a lot better than the statutory car wash we drove by on the day of my bachelor party.
Oh God!
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that too, because we were screwing with you on that one too.
Everyone was getting screwed with that day.
Ooh,
ready? Yep. Ready? Ow! No.
You guys were shooting yourselves.
I didn't shoot myself at all. It was Justin's friend Belle.
Well, either way, you guys were shooting each other. You guys were on the same team. And we didn't even start.
You could breathe wrong.
Those were hair triggers. Going off. Those were hair triggers for sure. I mean, you look at them wrong and they went off. Was that a fun day? Absolutely, it was.
It was a hell of a fun day.
Well, it doesn't help though. Like in sync, everybody just, as soon as Bell said out, everybody just turned and pointed to him and just started unloading the hopper on him.
He does yoga now. He's dropped like 100 pounds.
Yeah, I remember you telling me. But yeah, Jamie was gonna kill us that day for littering. So we get to the venue.
We get to the church, and we got married. Well, this month we got married in August, early August. We got married, and it was, as the kids say, hot as balls that day.
It was. And
we were in a room,
the basement,
that had no air conditioning in it.
Yep. Basement of the church.
So we're there sweating. No one is like providing us any refreshments.
Nope, no water, no nothing.
David and my brother-in-law Justin have flasks that are being passed around. We go upstairs, And lo and behold, Jamie and the bridesmaids have had a fruit tray and
Bagels
champagne.
and
Yeah, they had a whole fucking brunch in their goddamn room. Meanwhile, I'm up there doing my vows and my stomach is damn near as loud as me because I've had nothing to eat that day. Um, I do remember David throwing on Philly's yard work gloves to give me the ring. I think they were shoeies, weren't they?
I think they were shoes.
Yeah. Um,
Oh
that
God.
was a
Well,
fun. In all honesty, that was a fun day. Um,
oh, it got interesting, especially during pictures when the whole groom's party would just start saying littering and littering and littering and then
Super Troopers.
your wife just looked at us like go from smiling to like to all of a sudden just glare of death, and we're just like, oh shit.
There is a photo of this, and we've talked about this before. I have to get it from my grandmother, but there is a photo of this exact incident. Um, Super Troopers was quoted a ton that day. Do you remember? We're in line to go into the Steelton VFW for our to do the and coming in now
Yeah.
is, and we were doing littering Ann, and Seth goes, "Who wants a mustache ride?" And my dad ball tagging him. Do you remember my dad ball tagging Seth after saying that? Oh, speaking of my dad and the wedding. This is
Oh, I
this
thought
is
you meant ball
this
tagging.
this is a favorite of some of the listeners who've I did the other ship with. So this is one that I know will get a good reaction. So, unbeknownst to me, in the receiving line, my dad is not introducing himself as Joe DiAgostino, father of the groom.
Oh no.
No, why would he do that?
Oh
He's
no.
introducing himself as Eric Stratton, pledge president. Damn glad to meet you.
That doesn't
I
surprise
I
me.
I know for sure there are people on Jamie's side of the family who probably think I have a stepdad whose name is Eric Stratton.
That doesn't surprise me one bit. Knowing your dad, that does not surprise me one bit.
It doesn't surprise me one bit either, but I mean look, masterful use of an Animal House reference, first off. I mean,
Absolutely.
I can't not appreciate it.
The opportunity was there. The opportunity was taken.
And the only reason I know this is because Hasselplug was beside my dad. So Hasselplug's dying over this. And to this day, if he asks how my dad is doing, he's like, "Hey, how's Eric Stratton doing?"
That's great. Oh, that's great.
Oh
Oh my
man.
God, that's great. Hey, at
My
least there was never a
dad's
dull moment.
my dad's friends drunk out their ass at the wedding, cheering on Belle doing the lunch lady song from SNL. That was a moment at the wedding that is one of my favorites. Actually, speaking of weddings, I've only rode in a limo once in my life, and it was for your wedding when
When
no
the
air
AC wasn't working.
conditioning.
Yeah. And it was hot as balls. Hot as balls. And the AC in the limo had no AC.
Another
Yay.
thing from your wedding
Everybody
that
was
that
drunk because of the bartender.
well, we can get into that, but this is more my experience. So I rode with Dan, and Dan and I are big Stern Show fans, and he had the Stern Show on. And before news for years up until COVID, they would do news with Robin Quivers. And there was always a song parody about having sex with Robin that would play. And this replay of the show, the song was a parody of "Hold the Line" by Toto, and it went, "I want to bang Robin from behind." In the middle of your ceremony, David, because it's you, your brother, me, Dan. I hear faintly enough, "I wanna bang Robin from behind," and it's Dan singing it during the ceremony. So I'm standing here like this and I'm biting my lip because he's singing this and I'm trying not to laugh. Because why are you singing this I'm not the most religious guy in the world, but why are you singing this in a church in the middle of a marriage ceremony?
Again. Jeez. Ooh. I'll get somebody off a serious face.
Oh my God. It took everything I had not to laugh. I mean, just killed me not to laugh because it. I
Oh
will say
man.
this because we only had kegs and you had to pay for mixed drinks at my wedding. Your wedding was a party.
Shocked?
There was a conga line that took out the camera.
Yes, there was that. Where, well, we hired a bartender from Allegiant, which anybody who's ever been to a Allegiant will know how mixed drinks are made. Where there's like a splash of soda in it just for color. And that's literally what this was. Where we had people telling us to go to the bartender and said, "Hey, tell him to kind of put a little more soda in because it was getting a bit strong." And we had people going up for more soda to continue to mix with. It's like,
Um,
geez. Yeah, some people were
my
drunk at the end of the day.
well, I don't know if you know this. Jamie and your coworker's ex-wife Adrian went to all the tables where there were undrank glasses of champagne and they drank them.
I remember that. That I do remember being told, which I thought was
um,
hilarious.
I know you don't know this. Your brother grabbed Jamie's ass that day.
Ugh.
And did it
Well,
like
he
he did to Travis, where he lifted her off the ground a little bit, and then leaned into me and goes, "Hey, good job."
again, does that surprise you? Especially when he's been drinking.
I will say this: your brother did not need to pull us aside and ask us if he was being an asshole, but he did,
Yeah, no, he did. Give him
and
that.
that's
Give him
a
that.
little uncharacteristic of your brother.
Yeah, that was an interesting night. That was an interesting night. I can just say that. Wonder how many people don't remember
Oh
it.
God.
People don't remember it just from all the drinking.
Look, I've been to, that was like, that period was peak wedding time for all of us. A lot of us were getting married and going to each other's weddings. I can hands down say yours was a fucking party. I've never been in a conga line until that day. I haven't been in one since. Um, but it was hands down one of the best weddings I've ever been at. Just a lot of fun. I don't remember. I wish I could tell you I remember the food. I don't. I remember everything but the food.
I remember Dan saying, "This corn is awesome." I
Oh
do
my God,
remember
I do
that.
remember that.
Yes. And all it was just regular canned corn. That's it. It wasn't anything special. It was just canned corn.
I remember
That's all
people
it
being
was.
hyped at our reception because we had 6 foot subs.
Nothing wrong with subs.
Dude, I ate that for a week afterwards because we took 3 feet home.
Dude, I don't think we had any leftovers after our wedding. Because I know it was almost like a Thanksgiving feast, if I remember right.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Like, holy shit. I mean, if you went home hungry, that was your own dumb fault.
It it was. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where to go from here because that's okay. Do you remember? Okay, summer 2002, we went with Travis to. He asked us to go with him to his church's youth group hockey night.
Okay. I remember that.
When we played in the basement.
Huh?
It was full check church hockey in a basement,
I was in
and
net.
David was in net. I want you to think about this for a second. We're in the basement of a church playing hockey. No one has gear except for David, who is playing goal. And these Jesus kids are checking the ever loving fuck out of each other. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
they took it
literally
serious. They took it
it,
like
it
next level.
it was literally just an excuse for them to fight. Let's be honest here. Like it was not hockey for Jesus. It was blood for Jesus. They were like,
The blood of Christ.
I'm
At
like,
that
I
point, I mean,
hooked the kid to get out.
it got bad. It got bad a couple of times. Sticks went flying. It's like, jeez.
I'm
It,
like, okay, uh, Christ be with you, bro. I'm out.
yeah, it got pretty wicked. It got pretty wicked for a church function.
I know, like, I went into something, oh, this is going to be like the stupidest thing we've ever done. And
And
we
it
get
turned
in
out to
there, and
be
it's like the
entertaining.
first rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. I'm like, oh, fuck, what did we get into?
And
They're
then afterwards,
sacrificing non-believers.
and then afterwards, it was all like a Bible study thing. It's like you
We
go
did
from
not stick around for that.
you go from one extreme to the next. They have to repent from their sins of body checking.
Oh, God.
I just smash your head into the boards, and Christ be with you.
That was so weird. Like, he's
It was
like, it's the
odd.
best. I'm like, I don't know, dude.
And then all of a sudden we walk in, we're like, holy shit, what the? Okay, here we go.
It felt like, to reference Animal House, it felt like when they walked into the Blues Club and everything stopped. Like, we clearly did not belong there. And
No.
me and you were aware of it.
Yeah. Well, I walk in with my bag and and everything, and they're just looking like, who's he? What's going on? What the hell? Why does he have a bag?
It's like, and David is, if you've ever seen Van Wilder, there's a scene where Van gets in goal to try and him and what's her Tara Reid's character, Gwen, and she's gonna shoot on him. And he's like warming up in goal, and he's doing all his warm ups, and I'm like, that's David in that scene. Is David there in this
Well, at that
church?
point, it was force of habit from Plains, you know.
And I will say, David fired them up to like they were just trying everything to score on you.
Yeah, now I can't stop a beach ball.
And speaking of you and goalie, Travis had you so fed up the one night. You're like, you know what, Travis? Why don't you put on my gear and go into goal? Okay, fine. I don't have a cup. Well, you're not wearing mine.
First shot.
Don't you go? You promise you won't go 5-hole. And in all sincerity, David was very sincere in saying, I won't go 5-hole.
And I didn't try it.
He
It just happened to go viral and tagged them.
oh, he went down like a shot deer. It was I 20 some years later, I still see it clear as day in my head.
Except for, if I remember right, I was not trying for that one. It just happened to it just happened to go 5-hole and a little high.
Ah! Thud right on the concrete. And I think your mom and dad came home at that time, and your mom goes, "I don't even want to know."
Pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah, at that
Oh my
point, that's just,
god.
yeah, at that point, it's just, at that point, yeah, it was just like, I'm out, I'm done. But no, he dropped, and you heard the thud of him hitting the ground.
I only wish we had a video camera.
Well, at that time, what was a video camera that was small enough to put somewhere?
There wasn't, unfortunately.
Exactly.
But I mean, I that had been something I think we probably would have rewatched over
Oh my
and
God,
over.
yes. Oh my God, yes. Well, think of this. I have pictures of me playing ice hockey. I only had one picture of me playing roller, and that was the year that I first started.
That was the one in the paper, wasn't it?
Yeah. Now, when I started playing again, apparently now on Facebook, they last season they took pictures that got really good, but they're
Yeah.
also doing now live video of the games.
Okay.
Watching me in net, I swear to God, I look like a fish out of water. I'm just flopping.
How often are you in goal?
Not often. Normally, when we schedule a practice and when our main goalie can't make it, that's about it.
Okay.
That's about the extent of it anymore. I mean, I got the padding. I got new padding. The only thing not new is my helmet. Everything else
Okay.
is new. So I got it. I'd love to do it more, but
All right.
and yes, I
Let's
do
go
work
back.
out.
I have no doubt you do. The guy who freaking answered the door, giving everyone the goat. Jesus Christ, David.
Who would do that? Who would do a thing like that? Who would
Um,
do a thing like that?
and you did it before the movie Waiting came out, which is even funnier to me.
The fact that we didn't know what it was called a goat.
um, Going
In fact,
back to weddings
I was gonna say
and
what it's
bachelor
going back to
parties.
where as soon as you open the door, there it is.
Yeah, I was numb to it after like the fifth time. Travis always sold it, which, you know. Um, okay. So, David's bachelor party, we're golfing. And I had hit onto the green. It was a par 3. And Dan duffed his shot. And I said to David and Dan, I go, "You guys good if I go up? I'll be out of the way." And Dan gave me a thumbs up, and you're like, "Yeah, yeah, just go, just go." All right. You sure? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead, go ahead. So as I'm going up this hill, because the par 3 was on an incline, I get hit in the fucking foot by Dan's shot.
Weren't you driving the cart at the
I
time?
was driving the cart up the hill and got hit in the foot by Dan's shot.
Hell of a shot.
I I've I don't how does that happen? How does it go right in? And this is true friends here. No one yelled for.
No, no, nobody did.
Cuz
Nobody did that
cuz
day.
I know for sure what all of you were thinking. It's not going to hit him. Cuz
Well,
I've done it. And I'm
oh
like,
yeah.
it ain't going to hit him.
Well, we got well, I had a similar situation uh with my cousin that were ahead of us that day. They're like, "Oh, just hit. You're not gonna go that far. You're not gonna hit it that far." Well, the one time I actually get a hold of the ball and it literally drops by my cousin's foot. The one time I actually hit it square. Yeah.
Oh, what was
Of
the
course,
name?
though, of course, the course,
No, not that course.
no.
Continue, just continue.
But nothing though of a golf story can ever beat. And you say Dave always pisses himself when he hears this. When I wrap the rope around the tire.
Yeah, but see, for me, that's not even the funniest one with you. There's been so many good ones. I'm trying to think of where we went when you first started getting into golf. We went to.
I mean, well, there was Rolling Meadows.
Is that the one that's no longer operational?
Yes, the one going out
Okay.
60. I think it's going out 901.
Okay. This is first off, two things happened this day. One, David had a beautiful almost hole in one. Like it's a crime that it didn't go in because it was such a great shot and it like just I think it popped in and popped out. Is that what happened? I don't
So
remember specifically.
I don't remember offhand.
But then later that day, this course had an electrical tower in the middle of it. And David tees off, and all you hear is pong.
Now, mind you, though, if I remember right, the way the hole was set up,
Oh God!
you're aiming not even close to that area, and I just so happened to hit it, and it just so happened to ring the whole valley.
Oh God!
Yeah, that was well. Yeah, that was interesting.
In all honesty,
That was loud.
it is not golf with you if I don't end up falling over laughing, or you don't leave a cigar on the tee box.
I'm
And
notorious
you
for that
didn't
one.
last time, but I fell over laughing last time. So one of those two things did happen.
Well, the last time I golfed in the one hole, I thought I was going to hit a lot of trees, and I didn't, which I was shocked about. The horseshoe hole in the back nine,
Yeah.
I cut through the trees, waiting for the smack, and that
Um.
was after I wrapped the rope around the tire.
So I didn't know this. I knew part of it. So I knew Dave and Sean had hit onto the other hole, and they were near the green.
They
And
were
I know
on the
Sean.
green.
They were near the green.
Okay, they were near the green.
I didn't know they both hit from where they were.
Yeah, they
I
did.
knew one of them did. I didn't know both of them
Oh, they
did.
both did. Yeah.
Those ladies hated us.
You don't say. Well, when we got to what was it, the eighth hole, the ranger came up to us. Hey, you guys all right?
It wasn't even the
Yeah.
eighth. So it was our eighth hole, but it was the
Yeah, we played the back first because there apparently was a senior tournament that day.
a senior ladies tournament that day. Which, by the way, again, all fault for me. All fault on this falls on the golf course because they never should have booked us to begin with.
No, especially on a tournament day.
And we were keeping up with the foursome that was in front of us, and they were keeping up with the foursome that was in front of them. No
Yeah,
one
we were
was
moving.
slowing play.
We were moving. We were moving.
That was one of I knew as soon as we let those kids in front of us, I knew that they were going to ask us for beer.
Didn't
Sure
one
as
look
hell
like
they did.
was it Morgan Wallen?
Morgan Wallen.
Yep.
Yes. Sean kept calling him Morgan Wallen that day.
A lot of beer
So
was drinking that day.
look, I know we're going out. We're going golfing for my birthday, right? You're off that day too.
Yes, I am.
Okay. So we're going to, for sure, me and you are going golfing that day. The last time we went golfing for my birthday, David broke his club head, went further than his golf ball.
I didn't even. Yeah, I just swung. I just did a normal shot, and next thing you know, it's like, the hell.
I'm laughing so hard. I fall over and land on the extra golf ball that's in my pocket.
Uh,
And this was right after I started dating Jamie.
Golfing with us is always an adventure.
We made going to the mall an adventure. I
Yes.
remember
We were mall rats.
We were mall rats. I remember
Would you like a chocolate covered pretzel?
one of us destroyed a shrub at Taco Bell.
That was you.
That was me. Um,
I destroyed a bathroom at the mall after Ponderosa.
do you remember
That
a
guy
guy in the middle of the mall?
that walked out of the bathroom horrified because I thought it was you, and I was trying to get you to basically piss yourself.
Yes, I remember that. Do you remember at the old East Mall, a guy selling photos? He was trying to, hey, do you want to take photos for me? And you put your arm around me and you go, honey, we take photos all the time. And the guy just walked away.
Again, never a dull moment.
We've always made the most mundane things fun, and that's I think the best thing of our friendship is. I mean, here's the thing: we've been through a lot of tough times together. We've been there for each other through a lot of like shitty
Yeah,
times, and by that means the world to me, and I think that's
so
part
to
of why
me.
our friendship is so good, and why you are legitimately my brother, even though we're not blood related. You are my brother. I'd
Well,
go
your
to
mother
hell and back
disowned
for
me.
you.
Well, your mother disowns me.
I know, I know. Um,
Well, when your
but
mom worked at the local grocery store and I'd start yelling, hey mom," and then everybody's thinking she is my mom at that
right,
point. And then when I remember one time I said, "Oh, she just disowned. I'm just her disowned son." Everybody looked at her like, "What?" And she's like, "He's not my dad." She had to explain it. Like, oops.
but I I don't want to. I didn't want to discredit like all the shit we've been through to make us best friends. But we make just the most mundane, trivial things fun just by cracking each other up and doing whatever we can to make each other laugh. And I think that's like one of the best things about our friendship is like we could just be driving somewhere and we'll be pissing ourselves making each other laugh. Like that all the good times and all the bad times together, those are like my favorite memories. It's just us like doing just dumb shit making each other laugh.
And the sad part is we don't even try it, we just do it. There's not even a trying involved. It just happens.
All right, one more before we because we're like an hour into this. One more before we wrap it up. Let me set the stage for you. We are 5 rows back at the Hershey Bears
Oh,
game
jeez.
in December 2005. David, being the only one of us with a good job at the time, paid for all of our tickets. It was myself, David, obviously, our old friend Travis, and our old friend Josh. Josh is drinking beer through a straw because he told us it would get him drunk quicker. Travis is trying to keep up with David in the amount of beer being drank. I'm the DD.
And you were trying to match soda with beer with us.
I was, yes.
And
Well, it was the mood. I was keeping the mood up. Anyway, so after the game, we go to an establishment known as the Gingerbread Man, local
I think
watering hole sports bar. It's Aruga's now.
yeah, I was gonna say I think that changed.
Well, at the time, it was the Gingerbread Man. We get in there, and Josh starts doing vodkas and Red Bulls and drinking Mad Elf, which is a local
Oh,
Christmas time beer of
uh,
spiced cherry flavor.
and it's
Um,
yeah, no.
Travis, who was drinking Coors Light at the game, has switched to Guinness, so he went from water to oil.
Proceeds to throw up in the
And
bathroom, denying it.
well, let's build to this here. First off, there's a lot that goes on this night that I think none of you really truly remember. Um,
I remember that I was told don't jump in the ice pile. I was I remember that, but I didn't listen.
No. Okay, so let's build this here. Okay, so we order the sampler. The sampler has clam strips in it. This plays an important role later. We all get our food. We all eat. The three of them, David and Josh had a pitcher each. A pitcher each is how I'll put it. Travis goes away for a while, maybe like 20 minutes. Josh goes, I think someone needs to go in for him. I go, well, you can go in for him. And Josh proceeds to tell us that Travis was in there throwing up. I see a jukebox. I put on Fall Out Boy, and I hear a curvy brown-haired girl yelling, Fall Out Boy sucks. Knowing what I know about my wife and the fact that her friend Sarah used to work beside the G-Man in the tanning salon, and Jamie would go there to meet Sarah before they'd go clubbing, I'm fairly certain the curvy brown-haired girl was Jamie, who did not like Fall Out Boy at the time. So I believe my first true interaction with my wife was before we even knew each other. It's getting late in the night at this point. David has had quite a lot to drink.
You don't say. Again,
And
some of this, the only way I know about it is from what he is saying, because he was the only sober one there.
The joys of being the designated driver.
There's some bits and pieces I remember, but I want to say 95% of this, I have no recollection just because of how much I've had.
I'm just going to preface this that an altercation occurred with the bartender's boyfriend, and we were told to leave. So we walk over to Sheets, which is right beside the G-Man, and we get drinks. Travis buys a case of Aquafina.
The fact that you remember the brand.
I remember because he was clutching it like a child clutches a teddy bear. That's why. He would not share any of this case of water with anyone. He's in the back on, it's mine. It's mine. David sees me jump into what I believed was snow. And it was not snow, it was ice. And David takes his shirt off, and I'm yelling, don't jump, it's ice, it's ice. Barebacked into the ice. That shit hurt. No, duh. I told you it's ice. We get into David's at then brand new Jeep Liberty. And he goes, hey, no throwing up in my car. We're halfway home. And Josh, who has alternated between I don't feel good to, oh, there's chicken tenders in there, starts eating while he's also telling us he doesn't feel good.
Yeah, that was a bit backwards.
We are now 30 seconds at most away from David's parents' house, because we all were living with our parents at the time. We are 30 seconds away from the house. And all I hear is, I need to throw up. And David goes, pull over, not in my car. And I go, we're almost at your parents' house. He goes, pull the fuck over, not in my new car. Josh and Travis proceed to throw up. It hits me, I proceed to throw up. David writes his name in the snow drunkenly. David walks over, and there's a goddamn half of chicken tender in the fucking snow.
Standing upright.
Keep in mind, Josh was eating the leftover chicken tenders in the container in the car on the way home while telling us he doesn't feel good. We get to David's parents' house. David charges into the house because it's hit him now.
Yeah, it hit me as soon as we got home is when it hit me.
I don't know how Josh got home. Holy shit.
No,
I didn't take him home. I took Travis home. How did Josh?
I don't know.
How did Josh get home?
He got home somehow. He got home somehow.
I didn't take him.
I certainly didn't take him.
Oh my God! How in
Unless he
almost
just-
20 years did I not realize how he get home?
Unless he crashed into my house, I don't know. Unless he crashed into my parents, I don't know.
Okay. So I'm pulling up to my parents' house, and my phone's going off, and it's David. And I go,
I don't know
yeah.
what I was saying.
And I go, yeah, what's up? He goes, both ends! Both ends! It's coming out both ends! And you hang up. Okay. So, how the fuck did he get home? I mean,
So
he's still alive, so he got home, but I mean... All right.
Well, the fact, though, that for how long later, though, that chicken tender was still there.
It was there all winter.
And Jason's going to pass out
God.
here very shortly.
Oh, God. Okay. So, there's one common denominator in what all of us had that night. Because keep in mind, I didn't drink, so why was I throwing up?
All the soda you had?
I'm telling you, it was the clam strips. The only thing all of us ate that was
That
the
is true.
same thing was the clam strips. It is to the point now, almost 20 years later, I don't eat clam strips unless I'm at a place that specifically does seafood, because I won't trust them anywhere else. Because why else did I throw up? And it hit you. It hit the two.
You just hit me a lot
Get
longer.
home.
Cheers.
Because
Jason's
he was wrecked. How the fuck did he get home?
No clue. I can't even tell you. Like
And I love how both of us have no idea how he got home.
Like I said, I only remember probably 5% of that night, and that's about it.
Oh,
God. I don't remember much of anything else.
I don't feel good. Oh, there's chicken tenders in there. Oh. Oh my God. All right. We're an hour in. We probably should wrap this up. Thank you for listening to this 90-second episode of NASPod, because there was no sports talked about, so why call it the Not Another Sports Podcast?
Well, there was.
Today?
We went to a Bears game. And golf.
Yes.
Those are sports, so we did.
A quick shout out to our buddy Dave, who is co-host of the 2216 podcast. You can find that wherever you get your podcasts. The other ship is the Pop Culture Podcast with the Pro Wrestling Lean. You can find that wherever you get your podcasts. You know how to find us if you're listening to us. Check out the links in the episode detail. You can find our shop. You can find our social media links. If you enjoy watching us, you know how to find us on YouTube. If you don't, that link is also in our links in the episode detail. With that, I'm Jason.
I'm David.
Be sure to chew your food.
Exactly. And good morning.